Exercise for centering oneself. Touch an area roughly square in condition with its sides at the solar plexus, the spleen, liver and navel. Breathe into that square and feel this area. Touch the concentrate area above the head. Put all your attention in your feet and feet. Feel your feet moving. Allow a cement feeling to develop in each part of your hip and legs and feet until you feel well grounded. Bring your awareness to your heart chakra and let a sense of softness spread out from there before you. Some suggestions for a successful improvisation. Basically, you may use the 5-element system with any musical expression once you want to decipher the quality expressed by the individual's or group's performance. It works also with report reading and orally sent music such as traditional music, rock and roll, rap, reggae and blues amidst others. Using free improvisation, however, is least more likely to allow home deceptions and preconceived suggestions to dominate. You may, of course, evaluate any performance. Nevertheless, you would have to consider how much the player's values about other people's targets were hindering him or her from a completely free expression. You should have the clearest picture if someone can spontaneously express the emotions which come up while he or she is improvising. By free improvisation, after all, the kind of acoustics, painting or soundscape that will not have any preconceived idea of style to comply with. I really do not imply the sort of improvisations found in jazz, not in so-called free jazz. This is because what folks often call improvisation is actually music based on preconceived musical constructions like certain group of chords, musical styles, steady rhythms, melodically topics and particular instruments. Obviously, single improvisation doesn't have to check out group guidelines or group dynamics. A great many other types of improvisation, such as those found in Indian ragas, American blues, also follow quite demanding guidelines. What I look for can be an expression that is restricted less than possible by any rules beyond following one's own thoughts and the free move of inspiration. Expressing what is inside doesn't need to be restricted to one's personal inside, that the levels beyond the non-public may be portrayed. Usually it is suggested to a person to try out for much longer than 5 minutes. It often does take time to take it easy and to transfer to one's own move. For illustration, collective unconscious, energy phenomena, spirituality. Certainly exceptions to this happen on a regular basis. It is beneficial to apply some basic rules to facilitate free improvisation. Have a sufficient mastery of the tool chosen to be able to have the ability to point out yourself fluently. Know how to model yourself. Be familiar with the direction, a felt intention to be followed, participating in. Be familiar with your depth of concentration. Do not be reluctant to get started on again if you feel that you have got off on the incorrect foot. But do not let self-destructiveness and self-criticism dominate. A couple of restarts should be enough. Enter fully into the experience of sound. Find a playful way to take pleasure from yourself, water. Accept a natural, true, and genuine creative imagination, earth. Allow yourself to explore, also to express some craziness if possible, open fire, to be noisy, for example. Understand that several degrees of awareness can start, such as those leading into the qualities of one or even more of the 5 elements and beyond. Be aware that some balance between your 5 elements is often essential to maintain an innovative flow. The elements' main characteristics are Earth, not losing connection with a base you can come back to from time to time. Water, keeping a movement from one factor or idea to the next. Fire, the cathartic, transforming quality, also friendliness and love. Air, softness of feelings, lightness. Space, offering oneself space during improvisation, silence, non-action. Avoid any analysis during improvisation. Be sure you visit the right moment. Sense the need to recenter oneself briefly by the end. Improvisations of this kind often mix things up in the gamer as well as in the audience. The musician may never be completely satisfied, but that is normal. Our knowing of a natural circulation, some may say from a divine source, means that some internal obstacles will usually remain, and we might permanently be an imperfect tool. But that is okay, and part of the game. Once you play like this, you might well be overly enthusiastic and may feel the familiar earth slipping away from under your feet. You may feel vulnerable, available, and even unfortunate afterwards. Therefore, it could be useful to take a few minutes at the end to return to your more familiar home. To get this done, you may choose to put your hands down on your thighs and simply notice yourself for a few moments. This will close your energy field that opened up through the improvisation. The sadness comes from the connection with your longings, or perhaps with a religious level, and then your subsequent feeling to be left behind, to be partially segregated again. Alternatively, you might just feel joy and lightness, or just normal and attempting to get on with something else. In this manner of improvising should only be utilized with mentally balanced people, whose ego or personality is not unhealthily underdeveloped, like those of patients experiencing schizophrenia or so-called borderline patients.